Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the debate session of the International Program Communication Science class, Amikom University. This debate will discuss about the death penalty. Is it necessary for corruptor? On this occasion, we have two groups who will argue with each other. For the blue team is an affirmation team, and the red team for the opposition team. Without wasting any more time, let's look at the first statement from the two teams regarding the death penalty for corruptor. To the affirmation team, the time is 3 minutes. Begin.
Okay, we strongly agree with the penalty for corruption because there are so many corruption cases in Indonesia. With the penalty, corruption will become a deterrent and Indonesia will be free from corruption cases. This country has been damaged by corruption everywhere. It even happened to the party who should have acted in this case, like prosecutors, judges, and the police. Only the death penalty can stop corruption cases. Judges must have the courage to apply the punishment because it's regulated in law number 31 of 1919. When they compare to Arab countries, Indonesia should apply the death penalty because the death penalty in Arabia is effective and reduce corruption cases. In China, all the corruption who corruption before 1998 were bleached. All corrupt officially were considered clean, but as there was corruption the day after the bleach, the officially was immediately sentenced to death. Indonesia taps very large to the United Nations. In 2012, Indonesia had a debt of 16 trillion, and that was caused by corruption. If the death penalty is not applied, then Indonesia will have no more debts to the United Nations.
Okay, it is not true that the death penalty violates human rights, even the Constitutional Court itself states. Also, the Human Rights Court Law number 26 of 2000 stipulates the death penalty as people representative institution is still making various legislative products that include the death penalty as a punishment. In other words, the people still want the death penalty. Next is broadly speaking, there are the three theories as to way we need the death penalty. First, the theory of retaliation, which is the balance right in society. Second, the theory of improvement and repressive effort. Third, the theory of deterrence effect as a preventive measure so that decreased in crime rates and evil deeds can be eradicated. Here is the laws that strengthen our opinion. First is Article 2, Paragraph 2 of Law number 20 of 2001 concerning amendment of Law 31 of 1999 regarding the eradication of corruption cards. Paragraph 2 states that in the event that criminal acts corruption as referred in paragraph 1, then regulation of the Supreme Court number 1 2020 Article 2 and Article 3. It's better to kill corruptor one by one, save millions of people in Indonesia than pity the corruptor but harm millions of Indonesians.
Okay, thank you for the affirmation team. A great statement. Let's be continued in the opposition team. The time is 3 minutes. Begin.
Okay, as part of the limitation of the most fundamental human rights, namely the right to life, the basis for including the death penalty must have robust roots and be based on evidence and rationalization that can be accounted for. Our opinion regarding implementing the death penalty is to disagree in the death penalty is applied to corruptors in Indonesia. Usually, the death penalty will be imposed on someone who is a perpetrator in case of premeditated murder involved in drug trafficking and terrorism. Criminal imposition is usually a last resort if previous efforts do not improve the perpetrator's attitude.
One of the most severe forms of punishment is the death penalty or the death penalty. The death penalty has been in effect in Indonesia since January 1998 as stated in the Criminal Code and regular in Article 10. There are two kinds of punishment: the main and the additional. And the death penalty is included in the major crime. The death penalty had accepted in Indonesian since 1808, when the Governor General of the Dutch East Indies, the most severe in Indonesia. Over time, the death penalty was included during the new the development plan. Way for today's time we're with our country, we don't need carry out the death penalty.
People sentenced to death cannot be brought back to life, although mistake can occur. For example, since 1973, more than 160 inmates sentenced to death in the list because they were found not guilty. The verdict was inconsistent with that considered weaker. Social and economical marginalized people may find it more difficult to access legal aid. For example, in the case of narcotics, socioeconomic factors that increase the risk or cause people to engage in drug trafficking are often overlooked. For health, unmet access to education, lack of job opportunities, lack of adequate housing,
Okay,
poverty,
thank you.
discrimination.
Time is up. Thank you. Okay, now we're back to the affirmation team. Please give your feedback. The time is 3 minutes, starting from now.
Okay, thank you. As explained the consort team, the basis of the implementation of that penalty must have strong roots and the base on evidence and rationalization that can be accounted for. And people's sentences to that cannot be brought back to life. Also, mistake can occur. Yes, it is true that the death penalty must be given on the basis of strong reason and evidence. This is also explained in the regulation that we mentioned earlier, which confirm the death penalty can be applied in Indonesia. In the Perma, the Supreme Court divides the category of corruptor into 5 categories, namely the heaviest, the most severe, the moderate, the medium lightest, and the lightest. For corruptor who fall into the most severe category, they can get life imprisonment or even the death penalty. The regulation has been widely appreciated by various parties, especially the DPR, the Corruption Eradication Commission, and various other parties.
The following are the conditions for imposing the death penalty for corruptor in accordance with Perma number 1, 2020. The first, the judge for nothing mitigating about the defendant. Number 2, if the crime is committed against fund intended for the mitigation of dangerous circumstances, natural disaster, countermeasure due to widespread social unrest, overcoming economic and monetary crisis, and repeating corruption crimes. Number 3, corruption defense of 100 billion or more. Therefore, the defendant has the most significant role in the occurrence of a criminal act, whether committed singly or jointly. Number 5, the defendant has the role of an advocate or ordering or committing a criminal act of corruption. And number 6, the defendant commit his act using modus operandi or advanced means technology. Okay.
Number 7, defendant of corruption in a state of disaster of economic crisis on national scale. Number 8, corruption has a national impact. Number 9, corruption has resulted in the work being completely unsuitable. Number 10, the defendant corruption causes suffering to vulnerable group of people,
including the elderly, children, the poor, pregnant women, and people with disabilities. The value of the difference wealth is obtained from 50% or more of the process of corruption. The money that was corrupted was returned less than percent.
Okay, time is up. Now for the opposition team, please give your rebuttal. The time is 3 minutes, starting from now.
Okay, thank you. Islamic law perspective. As one of the pillar in the information of the legal system in Indonesia, apart from Western law and customary law, Islamic law has great importance in fighting for the existence of the death penalty as a form of maximum punishment and has a solid legal basis. This knows that Islamic law still maintains the death penalty for certain crimes, where the essence of its application is to protect the interests of individuals and society from crimes that endanger the basic joints of humanity. Thank you.
A
Next.
terrible impression behind the death penalty is the widespread impression surrounding Islamic criminal law application in this modern society. The image or criticism initially launched West was not only because they did not like the concept of corporal punishment, but rather because their moral feeling were not fully developed. The existence of this criticism is also due to the lack of awareness of the religious or spiritual reasons for the punishment, namely that the punishment is not cruelly imposed by one person on another, but solely for the sake of carrying out the provisions contained in the legal doctrine of the Islamic religion.
One minute and 30 seconds left. You still have time.
From this perspective, the application of the death penalty can be classified as a cruel and inhuman form of punishment, as stated in Article 3 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which reads, "Everyone has the right to life, liberty, and safety as an individual." This guarantee is confirmed by Article 6, paragraph 27 and Article 2080 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, and strengthened by the second optional protocol to the 19089 International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. On the abolition of the death penalty, the death penalty is against the principle of humanity and must be abolished or abolished. The death penalty that perpetrates crime avenge at least for the victim's family and will make others afraid of committing a similar crime. Still, it certainly will not be able to improve to death. A criminal can feel retribution for his actions with other forms of punishment. From this, the
Okay.
death penalty is no
Okay.
longer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The time is up. A great statement from the two teams, the opposition and the affirmation. Give both teams a round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, life is a basic right and need for humans to live in the world. As a part of limitation of the most basic human right, namely the right to life, the basic for the application of the death penalty must have strong roots and be based on evidence and rationalization that can be accounted for. The imposition of a sentence is usually the last resort if previous attempts have not improved the offender's attitude. Thus, the debatation of the application of the death penalty for corruptor this morning, let us always be people of integrity who will be useful to the nation and state. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.